Hi, guys. Welcome back. All right, let's go ahead and get into a collective message. Oh, we are beginning. This is not zodiac specific, but we start out with a major arcana. So we already do have a zodiac that could be popping in, which is Taurus. We have the Hierophant. I know this card is very shabby in very shabby shape. That is courtesy of my puppy when he was a baby. Those are baby little puppy teeth marks, and it always makes me smile to remember Aries is my little one. This card says somebody's not listening to their higher self. This is somebody who's either maybe things have been tattered for too long. This could be somebody saying, you know what, I'm ready to make a new decision. I am ready to walk away. I don't believe the way I used to. This could also be somebody ready to end a long-term relationship. This could be a card of divorce. But it could be divorcing ourselves from something that no longer is like the ideology that we believe in anymore. As this normally would be a card of like belief systems, orders of authority, like the documents we sign our name to. And this could be like a crisis of belief, or not identity per se, but I'm breaking away from this groove, this path that I was in. We have a 9 of Wands. Hey, Nancy, great to see you. Thanks for being here. With that 9 of Wands, this could be a divine feminine who's saying, you know what? I am literally healing myself now. I am more warrior than wound at this point. I am coming in out of the reeds, out of the woods. I am finding that I actually have abandoned some old idea or belief system. My first thought is she could have been in love with somebody for a long time, and maybe it caused her a lot of grief, and she's saying, I'm letting myself move on from those feelings, from those emotions. I'm letting myself move forward now. And oh my God, it feels so good to be free of and it could have been a powerfully held belief. Maybe she thought that a particular person was the one she was supposed to be married to, or maybe she was married to somebody for a long time. And it's like, this has to work. This is the only person for me. Now she's like, I don't know that I feel that way anymore. Actually, as I'm healing and allowing myself to heal, I'm realizing that there's more out there. And I love this card because although it is a page of swords, so this is normally, somebody's like gathering information, or sometimes we consider it to be the spying card. You know what she's doing? She's, thoughtful enough, bold enough, intelligent enough to say, I'm going to listen to what the universe has to say right now. I am gathering information from the universe about if one belief system that I had turned out to be faulty. Maybe I haven't been listening to my higher self in a long time. Maybe I was listening to my wounded side, my shadow side. As I'm realizing I'm feeling better, the more I move on from a former belief system, maybe there's even more messages out there for me. So let's change and say what is a message that the universe is trying to send to her. That feels like the wrong deck. Hang on. Let's go. Hang on. Now that I have the image of a deck that I want in my mind's eye, I get very stubborn and I have to find exactly that deck, no matter where it's buried. There. Okay. I was in the right neighborhood, just couldn't find it. Hi, everyone. So great to see you all. Paris, Black Moon Majesty, Aaron, Don Divine. So good to see everyone. That's awesome. Thank you, guys. We've got the King of Pentacles. We get the 5 of Wands in the reverse. So the message coming in from the universe to her, and she is like actively saying, give me a sign, universe. I feel like a blank slate. I feel like refreshed, cleaned. I'm ready to live again. That song by Al Green is coming to mind right now. How can you mend a broken heart? It's specifically, sorry, I can't get the word out. But specifically the component of that song where it's kind of like 2/3 of the way through, and I'm ready to live again, as he says it. I love the Reverend so much. But that song, How Can You Mend a Broken Heart? It's that more powerful part of it, because he's ready to live again. That's exactly where she's at. I'm so ready to live again. So universe, tell me what's up in front of me. What should I be keeping my eyes open for? What's the message? The universe is like, hunker down and get all comfortable and find yourself a comfy spot. There's not so much that you have to do as you have to just realize you are already growing by leaps and bounds. Let things flow in easier to you. We don't stand over trees and plants and scream at them and shriek at them and tell them exactly how to grow. Plants know how to grow. All we have to do, and sometimes we don't even have to do this, but if it's like a house plant that's contained, of course you have to feed it. You have to water it, right? Other things that are outside in nature, forests grow on their own based off of the rainfall, and the seeds plant themselves, with the help of birds that fly over and drop seeds here and there. There's a lot of nature that we don't tell nature what to do. Nature already knows what to do. We have to either back off, or we have to learn to work with nature, or we have to accept that, find that inner nature and your path is easier. Yes, there could be a hottie up ahead. There could be a hunky king of pentacles in a white toga flexing his pecs. I don't know. But the big thing here, I wouldn't necessarily say, oh, she's got to go find this dude. I don't think that's what the universe is suggesting. I think it's a bigger, bolder message, and it has to do more with, is there a specific thing she needs to go out and turn it into her life's task? Now that she's saying, I think I've walked away from some previously held beliefs that could have been very painful. They were creating more pain in my life. Now that I've walked away from those, what is it that I'm supposed to cling to next? And the universe is like, babe, just be. Let nature take over. You're doing all the right things. You're growing from an experience. This was part of your tree of life. This was one of the branches of a learning that you had to get through. Or maybe we could say it was a drought or a dry spell, but you survived it. You're doing great. You're already doing everything you need to. So relax the energy just a little bit and trust that you are so much stronger than you've given yourself credit for. And don't overthink anything. What you're supposed to find will be the next thing on your life purpose based off of who you are, and what it is that you are seeking. We have the Empress here. The Empress is the most incredible energy of growth. The Empress is always going to be she is the ultimate nurturer. She is Gaia. She is Mother Earth, and we see that tree of life behind her as well. I love the fact that the message from the universe is just, baby, you already did what you needed to do. You're making those decisions. You're allowing yourself to grow. Again, chill out. There's not anything to rush around and go find. You don't have to work hard to live. You're already a person who's going through life experiences and growing and achieving enlightenment and healing yourself and making all these great ideas and following through with those ideas. You're already generating a new life for yourself simply by making the choices that you make every single day. I like the fact that it says don't second guess herself, his self, however we want to look at this. Don't second guess the fact that what you've already done is what you needed to do. So when she's asking, but what's the sign? What am I supposed to learn next? The universe is like, you're supposed to be giving birth to the things that you want. What is any mother, do they give birth and then they nurture things? So any idea that she has, hopes, wishes, dreams, goals, hobbies, things she's wanted to pursue, interests that she has, the message here is what are you interested in? The universe is handing it right back to her and saying, babe, you don't need me to tell you what to do. You're freaking capable. You make great choices. So let me instead ask you, what do you want to do next? You don't need the universe to tell you what to do. You are a creator. So what would you like to do? I love the fact that there's that much support. We have the Justice card upright, and we have that throat chakra for her. Here's the thing. If she might be still kind of asking a little bit will something be balanced out for me though? Whatever happens to me felt really unfair and it wounded me for a long time. So maybe she's not posing exactly the most honest question, because if her real question is, but will I receive something for what I went through? Maybe that's the thing that she's asking the universe. That's the real question she wanted to ask. The one thing I will say is, because this is throat chakra, and because the universe keeps saying you are very powerful, you are already making great choices for yourself, I'm wondering if there is this gentle, supportive message where the biggest lesson she just took away from all this was learning how to speak up for herself, and advocate for herself. If this is the, the thing that still is like gnawing at her, like, but what I went through was so freaking unfair, is there any justice for that? We have the Hermit in the reverse, and this is the house of willpower with that solar plexus showing up on this chakra card. This definitely is about breaking silence and, advocating more for herself, and not, being on this lonely sojourner's path of trying to heal. If this is what she's asking really of the universe, now we've had her like spit it out, right? Let's see, how does the universe respond to that? The Moon and the Five of Swords. The universe is like, darling, for every action, there's a reaction. There are things that you don't know and will never know. But when there are great wrongs done behind the scenes, believe it or not, sometimes the people that wrong us, they have way worse situations going on than we do. We may only be able to focus on how we felt, ill-used, or, our heart was broken. But and this is not to say like, oh, don't worry, the universe is punishing the hell out of them. I don't mean it like that at all. But the universe is saying, don't go down the road of worrying about, will I get vindication? The universe is like, behind the scenes, there's many things that you don't know about, but actions have reactions. If somebody caused you grief, look, I'm just going to be blunt and say, to me, this looks like she either got treated really poorly, probably intentionally, by somebody, right? This could have been a lover that was, whatever, rude to her, treated her like she, didn't have value or something. Well, my, how the tables do turn. This looks like they are getting their karma. She may never know this, nor should it be something that she needs to focus on. That'll make you bitter and twisted. And we literally have like this twisted staircase. It's kind of part of the tree of life. And it's like, don't worry about other people's like punishment for, that'll make us twisted. We'll focus and we'll want to know, yeah, but are they hurting? Yeah, but did they, did somebody treat them wrong like they treated me wrong? The universe is like, don't spend your time asking those questions. Move on. It's you get to do better. You're sitting here as this beautiful empress. And I'm not saying that she wants to hear like, ooh, I hope they're crying now. It's not that. I think it's just like acknowledging that maybe that has been a stumbling block for her. I mean, I think it's very relatable. Like, will they ever even be sorry with how they behaved? I think that's a very relatable question. And that to me is not the same as somebody saying like, yeah, but I want to hear that, somebody breaks their heart and, maybe they wind up with that person that they cheated on me with, but that person treats them like total garbage and serves them right. That's not the same thing. That I don't feel like she's like wishing ill upon anyone, but the universe is still encouraging her to say, it's not your job to know or to need to know. Your job is to live your life. And I think that is also such a great message, and it totally frees her from the need to know what the score is. Now, as a side note, though, we have the advantage of seeing, yeah, they're probably not living their best life. Whomever it is who caused her grief, whomever it is who hurt her, they could be under the thumb of some very unpleasant energy. And honestly, if anything, maybe we should wish them well. Maybe she should wish them well. Like, I hope that if the reason you didn't pick me or the reason you did something to hurt my heart is because you were under somebody else's very toxic control, whether it's an overbearing, parental figure or an ex or whatever, it would suck to be them, right? So although she doesn't know it, it's also not her business to have to know. Her only business is to deal with her own life. And she's doing great. So I do like the fact that this doesn't need to be a stumbling block. And in this story, even though maybe it sounds a little unsatisfying, it is kind of a blunt message. She's not entitled to know how somebody who did her dirty is like going to get their karma. We got to see it here. And it's just that reminder that actions have, consequences and ripple effects. So yes, somebody is actually going through their karma. But I love the fact that the universe is like shielding her from even needing to devote any of her precious energy to trying to find that out. It's like, you don't need to hear about it. You just need to keep moving forward. I always say the best revenge is to forget. If there is some part of her that's like, but I still wanted justice for what happened, this card here says, your justice is you get to, use all of that amazing, solar plexus energy, your willpower to not stay hurt and in the shadows and trying to heal for forever. You have healed. You are more powerful than what happened to you, and you get to move forward and you get to have this awesome life. I don't know, this just keeps feeling like, I don't know if somebody like cheated on her or something along those lines, but she deserves a better life than that, and she's stronger than what happened to her, in this story. And it is nice to see the encouragement is for her to just keep moving onward. We have a 10 of swords here. The universe is saying she's actually already broken free of what occurred. That's the other reason. It's like, babe, you literally have gotten beyond this. So don't cycle back. Don't do let me just drive by one more time, drive by that old memory. The universe is like, today's the day you're free of it, totally free of it, and you deserve better. And that's how the universe is like, if she chooses to embrace this next chapter of her life, we have another better lover on the horizon for her. Somebody that is going to be a really great match. It's not the ex. We don't have any story of an ex in this. We have, in fact, the strongest encouragement is forget the ex, because there's a better lover. Somebody who will probably give sweeter kisses, somebody who will be much more like appealing. And, wouldn't it be so much better? Like, imagine we just bought like a really crappy, we'll say like a terrible, yucky hot dog, and some mean person walks up and slaps it out of our hand and it gets dropped on the ground. But then two blocks up, there's this gourmet 5-star restaurant that is giving away gourmet meals to let people, taste their food. Would we stand there and say, but it's not right that jerk slapped the hot dog out of my hand? Or would we say, how awesome is it that this gourmet restaurant is giving this 5-star food and I get to taste this? Like, what an incredible gift. Wouldn't it behoove us to simply say, forget the stupid hot dog and the jerk who slapped it out of my hand. There's a gourmet restaurant right there, and it's free to me. This is where we want to put our energy. Let's go to the gourmet yum yum. Let's forget about the crappy hot dog and the person who slapped it out of our hand. It's just such a much better way to look at energy. Since I said gourmet, let's go to the gourmet food deck. She's got so much more nourishment coming up. Page of Cups, new love story, 7 of Pentacles. Look, somewhere down the road, even though we do have a new love story, somewhere way down the road, this could be many, many, many years down the road, she will likely get an apology from that person who hurt her heart. That actually is possibly somewhere on the way up ahead. But the same or concurrent message here is there's a chance for new love. And we have like a cup of hot chocolate with little marshmallows in it, which is such a yummy, comforting thing. And we got like some awesome carb loading, wonderful spaghetti and meatballs. It's like, just allow oneself to have this new beginning and start building something new with a new person that's much more nourishing. Yes, someday down the road, she will get an apology from the person that hurt her. But why sit around and wait? What if we stood on that same street corner and waited for 72 hours before that person who knocked the hot dog out of our hand came back to finally say sorry to us? In the meantime, the gourmet restaurant, they're not offering any more free food. Don't miss out because you're waiting for somebody else's apology, is what it says. 9 of Swords. This is kind of interesting because this puts one more little like message. Remember, she's the one who said she wanted messages from the universe, right? So the universe is kind of like laying them on just a bit. It says also recognize maybe she's had a little bit of fear of the idea or nervousness of the idea of like building a long-term relationship with somebody else. Why would she have a little bit of nervousness surrounding that to overcome? 2 of Pentacles, because what if that ex ever came back? Okay, that is her major hurdle here. That is why I don't know how we're going to help her get beyond what I think is such a relatable message, right? Somebody hurts us. We've mostly healed from it. We say we want to move on, but we still keep thinking about that ex. We meet somebody new. They're wonderful, but then we still keep thinking about the ex just a little bit. Like, is this the right path? You know, what if I someday hear that apology from the ex? Would that change anything? There could also be a nervousness to start something new with someone because, you know, once bitten, twice shy. Sometimes we know now that people can disappoint us. And she's not being very stable with her decision making. She's made great decisions to her heart. That's where it's like, I always feel like I'm not 100% trusting. So that is something to look at. Like, these are the kind of like more nourishing thoughts for her to, like, you know, process through, maybe have those breakthroughs on. Five of Pentacles. It is the idea of focusing on the glass being half empty instead of half full. Focusing still on, I know people can do me wrong, so even if I meet somebody wonderful, what if it doesn't last? I learned sometimes people disappoint. And this just says, yeah, sometimes people do, and then sometimes people don't. So it's always, you know, there's always a chance that something won't work out, but that's true in life always. Everything about our life is anything can go in any different direction, right? So what do? Do we live our lives always saying, yeah, this is great, but what if something goes wrong? If we only walk around feeling that, we're never going to get to just enjoy any of the gifts and the blessings that we come across. Because this says nourish and build trust in the connection instead of continuously being fretting and worrying. This is going great. What if it falls apart? This is going great. What if that ex comes back? Would that change anything? This says don't live in the what ifs. Just live in what are you cultivating. The Seven of Pentacles is like focus on growing every day, one day at a time, in the things that are nourishing us. I like the fact that it like totally veers her thoughts to what's in front of you, babe. You meet some hunk, you meet somebody who's got sweet, sweet kisses, you're liking the way it's going, just stay focused on that. You know, when we're driving, yes, we may say, okay, here's my map, here's where my destination is, but I have 350 miles. You can't see 350 miles in front of you. You have to pay attention to the road that is immediately within your visibility. You see where there's a turn up ahead and you go, I don't know what's on the other side of that bend, but I do know to proceed a little bit, like with more awareness. What if a deer darts out? What if I come upon a traffic accident? You know, you have to be present. You have to pay attention to what's immediately within your line of vision, still knowing you could have surprises around the corner, but you don't like, oh my God, freak out and say, I can't see what's around that bend, so I'm going to stop the car. Instead, you look at it and you go, you know, I'm kind of like forearmed that, you know, continue to proceed and keep your eyes open and keep, you know, progressing and keep driving and stay alert and stay present. That's how you drive kind of like safely. And I think that's the same thing for this relationship. She has a new amazing romance, and we saw her on the cusp of she could very well sabotage it terribly if she starts freaking out and wanting to pull the car over and say, but what if it doesn't stay awesome? You know, some people aren't awesome after all. And it's like, and some people really are. Just like some roads are going to be beautiful drive and you'll have 350 miles of driving and it turns out great. Sometimes there'll be minor hiccups, but you know, we don't pull over and stop the car just because we're like, well, I can't see a straight shot from here to 350 miles up ahead. I can't see, will we make it? She's like, there's this little fear. I can't see the ending of our love story. Do we stay together? Do we always have happiness? Can I trust this new person implicitly? I have to know the end of our story. And the universe is like, you don't get to know the ending. You actually have to drive the car through the whole story, through the whole road. So roll with that instead. And I think I can see the damage that was done to her in this, you know, the person who did her wrong. That's what it, you know, it basically, we're still seeing this is where her damage was. And it's very understandable, and it's not to make light of it, but it is also like, this story is so awesome at trying to support her through those worries and fears of, what if it's all going to be the same kind of hurt? What if I'm going to go through hell? I've been through hell before. And we can see how that keeps kind of like rearing its head here and there through, even though she's healed from something, she didn't forget the worries of what could go wrong. But I actually really think that the universe is so like at every turn, like this nice, like calming perspective that says, just take it day by day. Just take it 1 mile at a time. Just you meet somebody wonderful, you will meet somebody absolutely wonderful. And it doesn't mean it has to be sabotaged, and it doesn't have to be filled with fear, especially when something feels amazing. Can I just take one quick look and say, universe, is this a really awesome outcome for her? Because it sure looks like it can be. Yeah, Queen of Swords, an outcome of truth. She's learning to listen to her guides. She is also, blue is a color of wisdom. She could be a Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, or she is somebody who's simply like learning all the lessons that she's intended to learn in her lifetime. You know, this is somebody who is actively participating in life, in lessons. She is being resilient. She is being somebody that, she'll have a very interesting life story as well. But her outcome is amazing because it's real truth. This is a character who's pretty much been unafraid to look at their fears. They've been unafraid to, I mean, we've seen her be pretty raw and honest, you know, with some of the questions, you know, the hurt questions, the desire for reassurance. You know, it's like she's been pretty, I would just say this is a character we've been describing who's very self-aware of the things she's gone through and how they've impacted her. And I think she's the one, remember, she was an empress before. She's the one who's been striving to make sure that she moves forward in life and genuinely heals thoroughly. So I think this is her, like, uncovering all those stones, recognizing her triggers as she's dealing with them, connecting to her higher self, and getting beyond those triggers so she can really live a really, really beautiful life and have a very happily ever after with a lover. And the only reason she can do it is because she's freaking brilliant. She's somebody who's unafraid to look at where her triggers are. Good job. I did not expect this to be such a bird's eye view of what it takes to really be an empress who heals and is willing to genuinely participate in life. That's awesome. You guys, thank you so much for being here. I don't know what I'm going to title this video. It's going to be a tough one. Any suggestions on this? Because I feel like that was such a breakdown of, I don't know, it's like this character just gave us a checklist or a manual on how to get beyond a heartbreak and how to actually have a successful relationship after having been devastated and mistreated. But then we see her like rise above it all, and she just gave us like the manual for how to do it. So I don't know what to call this, but I really liked this storyline. Thanks again, Nancy Lopez. And you were first in the house too, babe. Welcome. So glad you made it to a live. Paris Jade Humphrey, always great to see you, babe. Right back to you, hun. Black Moon Majesty, thank you. So awesome. You sensed it. Erin Downey, hi, hun. Don Divine, Annie S. Oh, wonderful, Annie S. Yeah, we'll get the rest of the Zodiacs done today and tonight, and we'll get started on a couple of bonuses also late tonight. Hey, from Tay, how are you? Shout out to you in Germany. La Unique, hi, hun. Hi, G. Crystal Suzanne, wonderful to see you. Luminous Marina, Robin. Awesome. Have a great day, Luminous Marina. Hi, Nope. Tammy Secord, Black Butterfly 25, wonderful to see you. Amazing Life 17, Champer 679. Luminous Marina, that's a great song. Monique Webster, Esoteric M. Thanks for being here, love. Hey, Ken. Jill Hunter. Rachel's Magic. I know. I was thinking the same thing. Like fall is coming, and a hot chocolate in the storyline was nice to see. Starseed Intuitive. Thank you for popping in. Hi, Lalu. Oh, so good to see you. Ciao, Christy. Fees Mystic Faith. Thank you. You brighten my day too. Happy Thursday, everybody. Lisa. Hey, darling. Yes, Aries is coming out today. So is Gemini. So is Scorpio. And Ophiuchus today. And then we'll do a couple of bonus videos later on tonight. So Nora A. Hi, honey. Marty. Hi. Nikki O. Thank you for being here, Nikki. Annie S. That's a great suggestion. Amazing Life 17. Hi. That's a great suggestion too. Beth Ross. Hi. Beth Ross, you're adorable. Ooh, Dawn Divine, Masterclass in Transmutation. Fees Mystic Faith, Breakdown Leads to Breakthrough. Oh my God, you guys have amazing titles. Annie S. Capricorn bonus request. All right. Oh, so nice. Jessica Rios. Happy birthday, babe. Jessica, I don't think I got to do a birthday poll for you yet in our members corner. Hang on, let me add you to next Monday. Yeah, I don't think I got to you yet, love. Jessica. So if you didn't know this, love, in the members corner, if you guys, on the members videos, the comments are left on, and just let me know that when it's your birthday month, and I do a little 3-card pull for you. So on Monday, I'll get to you. Yes, you're fine, Jessica. Yes. Miss Moody, Bridget Gore. Happy almost birthday, Miss Moody. All right, you guys. Lots of love. I will see you guys again soon. Bye for right now. Thanks for giving it a thumbs up.